Meg Davenport stood barefoot on the warm, loose garden soil. She watched a butterfly hover on a breeze above the garden, as if it danced before a banquet, contemplating which nectar to sample first. Yellow celandines? Purple coneflowers? Or red verbena? Not far off, the sweetbriar rose beckoned, trimmed with a skirt of pinks and zinnias, all planted under Meg's direction to attract butterflies of every sort. She knew this butterfly. As a caterpillar, he had, along with so many of his butterfly siblings and moth cousins, undoubtedly been hosted among the clover beds, or colorful sweet peas that festooned the white columns of the gazebo where Meg often sat. But while many of the moths and butterflies boasted shades of black and white and gold and orange, this one lit a delicate shade of blue as the sun blended its sheer wings with the summer sky. How she wished she could fly like him, beyond the walls of the school, and see what the world looked like from a butterfly's view. It had been so long since she'd let herself dream of such things that she'd nearly forgotten how. Perhaps it was as silly a whim for herself as for this pretty blue butterfly. He wasn't as adventurous as the others. She'd seen him before, and knew he rarely floated beyond the edges of the garden. She bent to remove another weed, although if Madame Maurice were still alive, she'd have quietly but firmly directed Meg back to the gazebo to merely enjoy what even she had called Meg's garden. Even with the school nearly empty for the off-season, there were others employed to do such menial tasks as pulling weeds. But Meg enjoyed the satisfaction to be found in keeping the garden pure of anything but what she'd intended for it to present. Besides, the earth was softer than any carpet beneath her toes. "Meg!" Hazel Hibbett beckoned, but beside the stout school matron bustled her sister, Beatrice. Meg smiled, far from alarmed. The Hibbett sisters were forever distressed about something, perhaps more often now that Hazel had become the matron. Meg added the weed to the others she'd collected and set to the side for the gardener to remove, then stepped back onto the grass. "A message!" Hazel called. "Yes!" Beatrice added. "For you!" Curiosity stirred. Meg held the puffed flounces that trimmed the bottom of her silk day dress out of the way to wipe her feet on the downy lawn. Obviously, it wasn't a letter from a former schoolmate, an invitation to a soirée, or even a note from some prospective beau. Such things wouldn't have warranted any more attention than to be left with the others upon her silver card holder by the door. Only a message from one person would hasten Hazel's step and add a bloom to Beatrice's cheeks. It must be from Meg's father. "Open it, child! Look, it's bordered in black!" Meg reached for the sealed envelope. Indeed, the stationery was outlined in black, though her name was written neatly in the center where the paper had been left white. She tore it open, seeing it was dated that very day. June 7th, 1883. Dearest Meggie, I write to you today with a heavy heart and unsteady hand. Your beloved father passed on to his reward this very day. I will, of course, see to all the arrangements of his burial. Please be assured he did not suffer, but breathed his last in the peacefulness of sleep. Respectfully, Ian Maguire. He's dead. Meg's words, like her heart, were untouched by the news. So it was over. Her hope that he would one day arrive knowing how to be a father to her, or to share with her anything of the family to which she was bound by blood. "Your father?" Beatrice's voice was usually high-pitched, but just now piercingly so. He's gone?"